Jared McCain has made a name for himself in the NBA this season with the 76ers. Although the team has been in shambles to start the season with both Joel Embiid and Paul George being out every other game with injuries, Jared has been one of the lone bright spots for the Sixers, and he's proving that his on-court performance can keep up with his off-court personality. Known for being a TikToker that many call zesty, McCain has had a lot of question marks from his high school days to his year at Duke University to even now in the NBA. But with the way Jared has played to start this season, he looks like the runaway rookie of the year, and the haters have been silenced. So let's break it all down. How has the narrative of Jared McCain shifted from zesty TikToker to being the best rookie in the NBA this season? Let's first jump into how Jared McCain was first discovered. Jared McCain was born in Sacramento, California, where he quickly grew a fiery passion for basketball. His father, Lance, actually played basketball with Spud Webb at Midland College, giving Jared someone to look up to. In 8th grade, Jared and his family moved to Corona, California, where he would make a name for himself, playing at Centennial High School. As a freshman on the Centennial basketball team, he would average 13 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists, but it was only going to get better from there. 2 years later, as a junior, he would get his name out there, winning the Gatorade Player of the Year award. He had led his team to a 32-1 record, while averaging 17-5-4. By this time, he was already an established prospect, ranked as the number 22 prospect in the class of 2023 by ESPN. But while he was tearing it up on the court, he started to pick up some traction off of the court as well. On social media, especially TikTok, McCain was building up a massive fan base while dancing or posting with his teammates, friends, and family. It seemed to be at odds with the traditional view of a focused, disciplined, and grinding athlete, but McCain was making it work. But he turned it into a strength, connecting with some younger fans and getting his name out there in conversations that he may not have been in before. Some people were not the biggest fans of this, but McCain backed it up, scoring 17.7 points per game to get himself to the McDonald's All-American game. McCain was taking a different approach than other players. He would showcase other major players around him and use his platform as a way to express himself and gain new fans while doing so, and it was working. While gaining a large following on social media, he had picked up traction in the rankings, gaining 5-star status in his final year of high school, and then came the decision that all major recruits have to make. Where would he play? After some deliberation, McCain chose to go play for the Duke Blue Devils, one of the most prestigious programs of all time. Many wondered if McCain would be able to keep up with the level of play in college, but all questions were quickly answered. He would put up some pretty impressive performances, like against Florida State, when he tied the record for the most points in a game by a Duke freshman, scoring 35, including 8 3-pointers. He was proving that he was a prolific scorer quickly, coming in second on the team, only behind Kyle Filipowski. He would be named as the ACC Rookie of the Week, not once, but twice, and when tournament time came, it looked like he and Filipowski could get a pretty decent shot at the national championship. Unfortunately for Duke, they would have to go up against DJ Burns and the Cinderella NC State squad, who knocked them out of the tourney despite a monster 32 points from Jared McCain, in which he scored half of his team's total points. But the very moment that McCain walked off the court after the tournament loss, it was pretty clear that he was going to be a one-and-done star, and that he was going to be entering the NBA draft. And that he did, putting his name into the NBA draft pool in April. But even though he had grown to an NBA talent, he was staying just as active on social media and was growing more and more of a following. By the time he had declared for the draft, McCain had 2.7 million TikTok followers and 1 million Instagram followers. This helped him enter the draft as one of the most high-profile players, even though he was not expected to be drafted as high as some others in the draft. He was optimistic and kept his jolly demeanor, as always, in preparation for the upcoming draft. McCain would be invited to sit in the green room during the draft, which came as no surprise due to his giant following. But as pick by pick went by, McCain's name was not called, but that was expected, with mock drafts having him selected in the middle or latter half of the first round. But still, in that position, one has to wonder when your name will finally be called, and by who. And that time finally came when one team decided to take a chance on him, the Philadelphia 76ers, with the 16th overall pick. In an emotional post-draft interview, McCain said that he was so grateful for this opportunity and that he had no words. You could tell that it was the moment when he realized that all the hard work that he had put in off-camera had paid off, but there was still work to do. He was going to get a chance to play alongside star players Joel Embiid, Paul George, and Tyrese Maxey. And he was going to be given the opportunity to bring another spark to a Sixers team that has been trying to get over the hump for for a while. But first, he had to look at the draft order. After all, there were 15 players drafted before him. So that meant that he needed to prove one other thing, and work for one other thing. And that was to prove to the basketball world that he was a top-tier rookie, even if he was not a lottery pick. But that was going to take some work, especially with an already established squad like Philly. He would first show off his pro skills at the NBA Summer League. He showed that he could get to the bucket even against professional competition. He was getting 76ers fans ready for his arrival in Philly, and so came his NBA debut. His NBA debut would come against the Milwaukee Bucks, but he would not get a ton of runtime, only on the floor for 4 minutes. He was still able to score 4 points and 2 rebounds in limited minutes, while waiting on the bench for his opportunity in the meantime. However, a couple of games later, the 76ers were looking more and more beaten up, without some of their top guys, and McCain was one of the players to benefit from that. The 76ers decided to give him a shot at some more runtime, bumping up his minutes. And it seemed to pay off for this injury-riddled Philly squad. He would help the Sixers get a tough overtime win against the Pacers, while slowly getting some traction with the team and the fans. And a few games later, he really got his chance to showcase himself against the Charlotte Hornets. The 76ers were desperately looking for an answer with a 1-7 record without any real consistency from their star players. And in this game, McCain proved that he just might be able to help. He was able to hit some tough shots over the top of his defenders and dish some passes to his teammates, and was also able to come in clutch down the stretch in overtime to give the 76ers a much needed and second win of their season. And ever since then, he's been on a tear. Now well established in the 76ers lineup, McCain was getting as much run as if he were the number 1 overall pick, and he was proving that he belonged. After the Charlotte game, McCain went on a 6-game scoring streak of scoring 20 points or more, dropping at least 30 points in 2 of them. At that point, he was no longer proving the point that he belonged. He was proving that he was the best rookie in the league right now. Let's be honest, this past NBA draft class has been one of the weakest in a while. The 2023 draft class had Victor Wembanyama, who looks like the next face of the NBA in a few years. The draft before, Paolo Banchero, who has already led this poor franchise back to the playoffs last season. But the 2024 draft class has been looked upon as one of the weakest draft classes in over a decade. None of the top 3 picks have been going on a tear as we normally expect. In fact, the top 3 in the NBA rookie ladder includes McCain, who was drafted 16th overall, Stephon Castle, who was drafted 4th overall, and Jalen Wells, who has proven to be the steal of the draft at 39th overall. The NBA needs a rookie to stand out as the top dogs have been lacking, and who better than probably the most famous guy in the draft class, the so-called zesty hooper, with 4.3 million followers on TikTok and 1.5 million on Instagram. The same guy who has been one of the only bright spots in an extremely bad year for the 76ers. I guess we'll have to see if he can keep it up, because the NBA season is a marathon, not a sprint, especially for Rookie of the Year. Because who knows, maybe another breakout star will come along, or maybe one of the top 3 picks from the 2024 draft class will start to break out. But back to his performance on the floor, because that is what is really putting him in the Rookie of the Year conversation. He has gotten more confident, and the shot selection and shot volume shows that. While that can be a negative thing if you're not efficient, for McCain, he's been on fire. Take away an off night or two, and McCain has been on fire from long range. He is shooting nearly 40% from 3, and has helped the 76ers win 3 of their last 6 games, which, honestly, should not be a feat in any other year than this one, as the 76ers are looking more like their mid-2010s trust the process self than their playoff form over the last few years. He has shown that he can score from pretty much anywhere on the court. But just as I said before, he is shooting nearly 40% from 3, so of course having the luxury of shooting that well from beyond the arc does not hurt either. He can knock down tough threes over his defenders while utilizing his handles, and he can utilize any space that he might have to his ability. People have compared him to Seth Curry, Emmanuel Quickley, and Dante DiVincenzo, but this year it seems like he has set a new precedent and that he can reach a higher ceiling than any of those guys if he can get it together and progress over the next few years. I mean, just before the year, people thought that he would be at the end of the bench and not getting meaningful minutes, but now he is taking the reins of his team when they need him the most. He has given the 76ers another proficient guard to place alongside Tyrese Maxey, and has brought fans new life while helping them with the pain of missing their MVP big man. And let's look into that a little bit more, because prior to McCain's true introduction into the scene, Philly was looking pretty weak, especially for a team that normally looks like a top team in the Eastern Conference. His relentless energy and fearless approach to the game helped him quickly become a fan favorite, showing that he was not only energetic and confident on social media. As I said earlier, but will emphasize now, they were 1-7. You can throw all of the stats around about how good McCain has been or about how effective he has been, but the truth is that he has helped revitalize this Philadelphia fan base who were quite recently distraught and looking for a leader on the court. To all of those who doubt him or make fun of him, well, they're wrong. It is as simple as looking at what has been going on in the Philly sports world to recognize that he is special and that he can get it done on the court, while also becoming an entertaining personality off of it. Jared McCain has bridged the gap between social media fame and on-court performance in a way that we do not often see, but no one can judge him because he has established that he can ball out on the court when given the opportunity. While many people call him zesty, that is not all that is to him. He may come across that way with his painted fingernails and TikTok dances, but he is tough on the court. The combination of the two has sparked conversations about the ever-growing role in the sports industry, with Jared McCain at the head of many of those conversations, for better or for worse. On the court, though, McCain has proven himself. In a year where there is no Banchero, Zion, or Wemby type of rookie to carry the draft class, McCain has become the face of the 2024 draft class. In a dark year for Philadelphia basketball fans, he has become a bright spot of what is to come, while converting many of his haters into fans. But what do you think about Jared McCain? Can he keep up this level of play and earn himself Rookie of the Year honors when the time comes? Let us know in the comments below. And if you liked this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more content, just like this one. We'll see you in the next one.